about the incident you had where you were robbed and where in particular this happened?
Well, I was robbed on Abercromby Street, back in September, I believe. Um,
September this year?
yeah, September this year. Um, Basically, coming up from class on a Sunday, around 3 p.m. ish, and I was confronted by three young men. Two looked like they were in secondary school, and the other one looked like he could now be entering into secondary school. Kind of short, stocky, but I won't get into too many of the details right now. Um, I was like making my way on from, let's say, the northeast side, from Marval Road to Abercrombie Street, and then I headed southbound. So I'll be heading into Port of Spain, the center of Port of Spain by that time. And as I was walking along the road, the street pavement, um, I knocked into one of them in the corner. I proceeded to move past.
But when you said you knocked into what?
Well, actually, one of them knocked into me. So there were two guys who they at the corner. One of them shoulder checked me, basically. Um, I just passed between the middle of them, and I proceeded to walk on, and there was another one behind them, the smaller boy who looked like he could not be in secondary school or something, or not entering into secondary school from primary school. He was there right behind them, and like I could tell that the other one turned back to look at me, like if they just marked me or something for attack. So yeah.
Okay. So you said you went up Abercrombie. Which part on Abercrombie Street is actually happened?
Um, this is the intersection right by the lights. Um, right by this really old kind of rustic looking house shed. Um, Close to the RAN building, the RANCO building and the First Citizen Bank area. So yeah.
So what happened after the guy shoulder checked you and they said that was that? Did they pull up a firearm?
What happened afterwards was that the guy that shoulder checked me, he started asking me some questions, and so after I was walking off, I tried to ignore him because the questions didn't make sense. And when the smaller boy was following me, he was asking me some question about what primary school I went to. I told him I didn't go to any primary school up here, and he doesn't know this thing. And then he says that he wanted to show me something. He just wanted to show me something, and that he revealed a firearm in his bag. It looked like one of the machine guns and submachine guns thing. I couldn't tell if it was real or fake. But but from the context of the situation, I could have it was a setup for me going to be robbed. So
So what was your reaction when you actually saw that firearm?
my action was sort of like it was like sort of like a fear, but it was also like a instinct to survive kicked in. So basically, at that point, I was thinking to myself some methods of like escaping or avoiding this conflict further, or trying to escape with everything that I had intact in including my life. There was no other people on the street, so there's no other people on the street. There was no enough cars passing by for me to make a break for it. I hope that a car will absorb any shots if they were to fire upon me. Um, so what I ended up doing was I ended up talking to them. I was trying to make my way up.
So you were talking to them?
I ended up talking to them. I say talking, but it felt more like if I was reprimanding them because I just couldn't understand why they would attempt to try to rob me and try to engage in criminal activities, especially since they're so young. They could do it so much more with their life and X, Y, Z. But this is the path that they ended up taking. But like while I was talking, I was trying to distance myself as much as possible from them. And after that, I saw my only other opening, which was the Ranco building, which I saw it was open. So I was about to dash. So my mind just quickly processed to dash into the parking lot area.
Ranco building is what, a business place?
It's Ranco Union. It's like a business place. I think it's one of those unions that you see coming down Abercrombie Street. They have this logo. I think it's supposed to be in shares or something, but it is but I do remember it was Ranco Union that I ran into.
Okay. Before you reach there to tell us about what happened when you went into Ramco, could you describe to us where you wearing jewelry, what you had on?
Um, what I had on the day was probably my jacket. I think it was my jacket that I had on, my usual cat and glasses getup, and my headset that's usually around my neck. Is it around my neck right now? Yeah, it is.
So what I'm trying to get at is what do you think attracted them to you for them to want to rob you?
Well,
What do you think was the attraction?
somebody tried to point out to me that the headset was probably the key attraction because they saw a headset they thought that I had valuables on me. Really and truly, this headset here isn't really worth much. It's just more like, I don't think it's not like one of those expensive AirPods or anything like that. Very cheap headset. It's just where I have it on for me for quality and to accept calls. So I'll just use it to mostly accept calls because my phone is malfunctioning right now. It's just like all over the place. So yeah. But another thing that probably gave them the impression that they could probably get away with it was my stature. If you can't tell right now, I'm a very skinny person. The way but I tend to walk very briskly anyways. So I think they saw the lankiness and they said this fella doesn't have muscles, so he can probably get away with it.
Were they much bigger than you?
They were around the average size as me. One of them was like, the two other guys were lanky, one was red, and the other, I believe he was red. At this moment, my memory seems to be getting obscured of them. The other one was kind of a dark skin, short boy, chubby-ish a little bit. And I think the advantage that they thought they had over me was that they had a firearm.
Okay, and you also had numbers.
Yeah, they had numbers and they had a firearm.
Okay, so you were telling us that you went into the Ramco building. Could you continue the story from there now?
Alright, so once I entered into the Ramco building, I ended up I instantly fled from them as fast as possible. Got there like in a rather quick time, so they don't have enough time for the boy to withdraw his firearm from his bag. I think it was a blue bag, also a transport. So I got into the Ranco building. I hid behind the security booth. Or in the security booth. At this moment, I can't remember it too well, but I remember clutching onto my life as the Ranco security guards tried forcefully remove me from the premises, even though I asked them for help that someone was trying to rob me. They had a gun, they had a firearm. However, their instant reaction is that they don't want me to die on their premises. So as a result, they forcefully removed me from the premises.
So when you say they forcefully removed you, did they bodily move you out?
Yes, basically what happened was that I was gripping onto every single object that I could grab onto. I heard them say that they didn't want me dying on the premises, they didn't want me getting shot on the premises. So, and after that, they promptly pushed me onto the street where I started to reprimand them because it was like, imagine the amount of people dying every day in this country. You want me to just become an emergency statistic? And they say, yeah, we don't care. So and they just proceeded back in as they all gathered back inside the building, not giving two shits.
Okay, so how did that experience make you feel? Because that is a very inhumane thing I think they did there. So how did that make you actually feel when they pushed you out of the building onto the street and they saying to you who now saw a firearm that they don't care if you die? How did that actually make you feel?
What it made me feel like was that they didn't have any care for any human life. And the thing is, right, if you look at this as a reflective piece, you can see the reason, you can kind of see the reason as to why the country is suffering with such a high crime rate. Because imagine you're a security guard, you're in charge of protecting you're in charge of protecting the assets of the building here. But you also should have the responsibility as a citizen of the country to also try and protect someone else's life. people complain on a daily basis about how high the death rate is, the murder rate in the country is. However, people don't ever like stop to realize that if you have the chance of saving someone's life, you should take it rather than criticize anyone for on that matter or try to or basically say that their life is worthless. If you, especially if you don't like have an effect on their job. So yeah, it was a rather shocking experience. It was rather, to me, it was a little bit eye-opening because that just meant that there was a lot of change in the country that needed to happen, and there's a lot of ways we need to go before we actually the crime rate actually starts to be reduced, and it's also part of the citizenry to help reduce it.
Did you ever go back to Rand Credit Union and spoke to a manager after that incident to get an idea if Rand, the management, had the same output, would ever reprimanded those guys?
So my initial response to the entire situation, because I'm going to be very clean with you, after I went to the police station, made a report, everything.
So you went to the police station after?
Yeah, I went to the police station, made a report.
Okay.
Even the police officers in Port of Spain, they could understand that the situation was very badly handled by the Ranco security
Okay.
officers.
Which police station did you went in police station?
The police station of kind of behind Alice Library, the National Library.
Police headquarters there?
Yeah.
CID?
CID.
Okay, yeah.
So I went there, I made a report, and the officers could understand that the entire situation was mishandled. However, the night of the occurrence, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because of how shocking and traumatic the experience was. And not because of the robbery, just because of how the security guards handled it. I ended up writing a whole Facebook post about it. I tagged Ranco in it, and months later, I didn't get any response from management, but what I did get a response was from another security officer who said that his fellow security guards did nothing wrong in the situation. He said that they're not in charge. This is their second home. Their work is basically their second home, which makes absolutely no sense. You shouldn't treat your work like it's a second home. And then they said basically said the equivalent of if someone would came into your yard, right, and so was claiming to be a gun and was claiming to be in shot, you wouldn't have put them out too, which in my head I didn't respond to it because at that day I had an assignment due. But if that's the situation you put it out there, right, you really representing and you decide to represent Ranco in this matter, and this is a very poor light in which you represent Ranco, because even if you're not the managerial staff or the head of the Ranco.
Do you think the part of the problem was the Ramco? Because you were saying that someone has had a similar experience, and that experience was a totally different experience because the person lost something and Ramco gave them money, but your experience was you were in the actual line of fire, right? And Ramco rejected you when you could have been put back onto the street and gotten robbed or killed, worse killed.
Yeah.
Right? So my question to you pertaining to that is that do you think Ramco security themselves there are afraid for their lives because they probably seen these activities on the streets a little often? Because it seems as though it's a occurrence that always happens.
Well, I can't say if it's an occurrence that always happens. However, I have to say if it's one thing, right? If you're a security guard, you're already I guess you're supposed to be living in almost in a life of fear. However, because you're also protecting a valuable property, right? Asset. Your life is also being placed on the line in order to protect that asset, right? However, even if you're fearful of the situation or the outcome, that does not justify your response to it. You hear stories about soldiers or police officers who willingly go into the line of fire to rescue someone's life, and you're telling me that because you're a security guard, right? And somebody runs into your building scared for their life, you can't read their body language, so you decide that the best that on top of that, right? Because I just realized something.
if you're so scared for your life, right? You weren't, but yet you weren't, surprisingly, you weren't so scared to throw me out of the building because you were so scared of your life. You weren't afraid of catching any gunfire because you were so scared of your life. Let me ask you something again. If you were so concerned with your being scared with your life, right? Why would you not have called the police instead of attempting to put me out of the room, and try to use me as like a dummy or like a body pillow or meat shield or whatever to absorb the bullets while you go peacefully back into your
So
building.
did you ever go back to Ramco and spoken to the management there?
The thing is, right, um, I have not gone back personally to Ramco due to the fear of meeting encountering those same security guards. I what I was attempting to do was that I was attempting to write a formal letter to Ramco. I have not been able to do that yet because I'm trying to seek legal advice or legal confirmation that when I send this letter, there wouldn't be any kind of legal backlash towards it, or I wouldn't get myself into a further, a worsened situation. So I will not physically confront Rango in person because, because like I just explained, there could be like some serious backlash or some serious drawbacks, or maybe I won't even get to speak to the person in charge due to the security officers.
Okay, I understand. Well, I guess that is it for the question.
Yeah.
Anything more you would like to add?
Yeah, just in general, right, for Trinidad and Tobago. If you were to be in my shoes, right, would you not have wanted a better treatment than I received? If this is your treatment of the persons in charge of protecting our lives, is this really and truly the way to a better and safer future? Can you imagine if people like that were left to run and protect the lives of the country? If people were more concerned with the lives of their own selves or the lives of their jobs, that they would not care for the lives of others? We need to do some serious reconsideration of who we place in charge to protect our lives, our assets, and most importantly, the future of our country.
One last question. What did the police officers say to you? What was your interaction when you reached the police station? Was it similar to Ramco, or did you have a better experience?
I had a very pleasant experience with them. The police officers were very professional. They were very concerned, contrasting, all the horror stories you hear about Trinidad and police officers these days. They were very professional. They took everything seriously. They realized that I was in a state of distress or distraught. I managed to describe everything perfectly. They gave me advice. They gave me a little bit of consoling. They told me to be safe, very safe on the way out because they could be still on the loose. The shooters could still be they could have followed me back to the police station and just waiting. So they just told me to be observant of my surroundings. They even offered me some cash if I lost anything, but I didn't, thankfully. So, but the entire experience was way better handled than at Ranco, the security building.
Okay, Darius, thank you very much.
No problem.